What's going on, guys? It's your boy Killer Cam in a new series I'm starting called The Raw Deal, in which I review episodes of Monday Night Raw and give recaps of them. And Raw just went off the air, and I must say that it was a fairly interesting show, if I shall say so the least. Um, you know, they had been doing moments with Edge all night long, but I'm gonna get into this. Drew McIntyre opened the show with the OC. Well, he basically said he was going after Brock Lesnar, which I kind of expected to happen. He beat the OC in a handicap match, about 3 minutes. I'm gonna give it about a half a star. I mean, it was what it was. They're building up for WrestleMania, which is what they're supposed to be ultimately doing. And Brock's not going to be at Elimination Chamber, or he'll probably be at Super Showdown, but probably not Elimination Chamber. Um, it did what it did. It made Drew look strong, and I definitely agree with it. I agree with the right decision. All throughout the night, they were playing Edge moments. And the first moment they showed was his WrestleMania 17, him spearing Jeff Hardy off, him standing on the ladder spearing Hardy off. And then they had an MVP video package. I guess MVP is back with the company full time. I don't know what the deal with MVP is. Anyway, he wrestled tonight against Rey Mysterio. This was a alright match. Mysterio and MVP are both in their late 40s. So, I mean, they did what they could. It was a great trip down memory lane. Great trip. Seeing these guys, it's like that last bit of nostalgia or whatever. But I definitely think that it was what was much needed right here, and I definitely liked it. And I don't know what MVP's role is, but if he's a full time guy, hey, why not? WrestleMania 36, it's at 69 days away. Aleister Black defeated some no-name. I think his name was Kenneth Johnson from what I caught. 15 seconds. He basically did like two moves, hit a black mass. I like what they're doing with Aleister Black, though. They're kind of trying to build him up, and he said he's tired of people calling him out. He's going to start picking fights himself, which is ultimately the right decision to do. I'm interested to see who his opponent is going to be at WrestleMania, or even how they're going to build to it, who his opponent's going to be, because I don't know. I might like to see him wrestle AJ Styles or somebody. I thought it was going to be AJ Styles and Orton, but Orton looks like he's going to be in another program with somebody, which I'll get to in a little bit. But this whole night was basically about Edge. Edge coming back, Edge returning, Edge doing this, Edge doing that. But which is not a bad thing. But you have Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy versus Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens. This was the promo at first, and then they had another Edge moment with the New Year's Revolution '06, where he cashed in on Cena. But they did that promo, and AOP got attacked by the Viking Raiders, so I guess they're going to do a big old 8-man tag. I don't know what they're going to do. But Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy defeated Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, which I thought was the match of the night. These guys really knocked it out of the park. And late in the match, Samoa Joe got hurt. And it became a handicap match with Kevin Owens and the two members. And Kevin Owens was really fighting there for a while, and it looked like he was gonna win the tag titles for both of them. But Buddy Murphy ended up rolling him up, hit him with the roll up of death, and ended up pinning him for the 1-2-3. And Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy retained the tag team titles. Another Edge moment of the night, we had the Royal Rumble 2010. The one that he came back and won ultimately. And Charlie did an interview with Becky. Becky basically said that she was the GOAT. She scratched something off of her bucket list that she wanted to do was beat Asuka. She had never beaten Asuka, and she finally did it. Next, we get to Humberto Carrillo and Andrade. Humberto gets to win by disqualification. Selena Vega came in and attacked him. So it kind of set it up. It was interesting, though. He did a hammerlock DDT on Andrade. And Andrade is the current United States champ. So I don't know if they're going to keep going and doing things like this, or if or what the deal with it is. But it's very interesting to me, how they're doing it and how they're building up. I like it. I think it's a great idea. good thing. Another Edge moment was showing him retiring. I remember watching that segment live, and it, you know, broke my heart. I've always been a big Edge fan, even when he was a bad guy. I mean, I would hate him at times because he just did so much shit that would just, piss you off. But you loved him because you respected the performer that he was, and you respected what he did. So to see him retire, it was just absolutely, sad. I did not have a single dry eye, and now he's back, But we also got a women's Rumble match highlights, and then Charlotte Flair came out and said she's going after a champion, but she didn't get a chance to announce it because Asuka and Kairi Sane, the tag team champions, came out and interrupted him. This was kind of random to me, I guess. I guess Charlotte's going to go after Becky. I don't see how that's going to work. I guess Sasha's going to face Bayley, and Charlotte's going to face Becky. I don't know how they're going to go about doing it. I don't know. Charlotte could go and face Bayley. Who knows? But Charlotte defeated Asuka. Another match that ended by DQ because Kairi Sane came in and interrupted. But it was what it was. It got Charlotte. It made Charlotte look strong. And then she ended up attacking both of them, so it made her look even better than what it was. Street Profits and Kelly had a bit of a segment. It was alright. 24/7 championship. Mojo Rawley defeated No Way Jose. This gets half of a star. The match was basically a squash. R-Truth then was dressed up as a clown before taking his thing off or whatever. And R-Truth then rolled up the 24/7 champion Mojo Rawley, and then he was starting to go. He was starting to gloat or whatever, and then Mojo turned the dynamic around and pinned him again to become 24/7 champion again. We had Liv Morgan defeat Lana. This match, it is what it is. I thought this feud was going to be over and done with, but evidently I guess they're waiting to try and build to Mania or whatever the deal is. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They're building the Mania. It just, it is what it is. They're building and it's not really working. If I had to rate the overall segment though, I'd probably give it like a half a star. There was no point. Rowan then defeated a guy named Brandon Weiss. I didn't really catch his name. He was a local guy, so obviously you knew Rowan was going to make him look strong. Next up, we get to the segment I wanted to talk about. They had an Edge moment with him having the 2020 return. Edge comes out and basically says that, how did he get here? Because 9 years ago he retired, and he got to where he retired, and now he's back. He's doing everything that he could possibly do to get back, and he said he saw a lot of familiar faces. Randy Orton. He saw some new faces: Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, a bunch of different guys. And before Edge was going to make an announcement, we had Randy Orton come out. And me, as the kid again, they mentioned Rated RKO, and I said, hell yeah, that would be phenomenal. But I always kept in the back of my mind, I was like, knowing Randy Orton, he's probably going to hit Edge with an RKO. And lo and behold, I guess what they're doing is Edge eliminated Randy. Randy hit him with an RKO tonight. I don't know what Edge's deal is. I don't know if they're going to wrestle at Super Showdown in Jeddah in a couple weeks, or if they're going to wait until WrestleMania. I wouldn't mind the match regardless. But great heel heat that they did with Randy Orton, making Randy Orton look like an absolute bastard. He came out, basically looked like he was going to, he RKO'd Edge, hit him with a chair, and then put the chair on his neck and acted like he was going to break his neck. But you could see the whole time it looked like Randy didn't want to do it. It was as if like his whole thing is with the voices in his head or whatever telling him. Looked like he didn't want to do it. But then he took the chair off of Edge's neck, and it was funny. You could hear a fan say, "Don't do it! Don't do it!" Whatever. But you could kind of hear that, and then he put a chair under Edge and went for a concerto, hit Edge with a concerto. I have not seen one of those in a long time. Looked painful, and I applaud Edge for taking that like a champ. I hope he's okay. I imagine that he probably is. I know he's been having neck problems, but he obviously was not going to come back if he was not cleared to compete. But, great build. They're building Edge and Randy Orton for WrestleMania or whatever it is. And, Edge will get him back. Whether it's next week or whatever, I don't know how they're gonna have Edge appear on Raw. We're probably not gonna see Edge no more until like WrestleMania or until whatever it is. Randy's probably gonna come out next week and be like, I got rid of Edge, whatever. And you started getting a big old asshole chant for Randy, which was well deserved because Edge was injured after 9 years and came back and tried to do the absolute best that he could do, and then you have it like that. I love the way they're setting it up, and I love it. I applaud them for doing it. It's a great setup to a potential great match that these guys can have. I know anytime these guys wrestle one another, a majority of the time it turns out to be a pretty good match. I thought Randy was going to wrestle AJ at WrestleMania, but hey, like I said, it was great to see Edge. I liked it. If I had to grade this show though on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it. Hold on. I'd probably give it about a 5. I thought the segment was great. Orton's back at a heel roll. Edge's speech was perfect because I want to talk about his speech real quick because his speech to me showed me how much he loved being in the ring. Because he says he wanted to come back and he wanted to be the absolute best person he could be. We had somebody else watching the show with us. He just gave you guys a big smile. There you go. But yeah, so Orton teased rated RKO and then hit him with the RKO. Which I expected because the plan is Randy Edge versus Orton, and now they can easily get there after this angle. But I kept thinking though that somebody was gonna come out and help Edge against Orton because I was like, hey, what was the point of it? It just made no sense to me. But if I had to grade the show on an overall scale, with about 2 3-star matches on the show, it really just the show kind of dragged a little bit. I really can't lie to you. The show was. It's alright. I'll probably have to give it maybe like a 5 or a 5.5 out of 10. Not the worst Raw, but it's far from the best. Couple pros for the night. I enjoyed the Charlotte and Asuka match before the finish, obviously, and I enjoyed the tag match. The tag match to me was a great match between Rollins and Murphy against Joe and Owens. Then you had I thought the Carrillo and Andrade match was getting somewhere, but then they ended up just. It was what it was. A couple duds on the show. Obviously, Liv Morgan and Lana and the 2 squash matches. Another pro in the show would be Edge's segment. It was great to see Edge back, and I'm really glad to see that Edge has come a long way, and it really makes me respect him more as a performer and as a man. Coming back after a long time, and he worked his ass off to get to the point to where he is today, and to me. That's something that I admire the most from him, and I'm just interested to see how it's gonna be moving forward. I really I really just don't know what to expect. The segment worked, got a lot of heat, great work by both Edge and Orton, setting up for that potential WrestleMania match. But hey guys, so that was a very interesting episode of Monday Night Raw, if I shall say so myself. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't know if I'm going to do NXT and SmackDown yet. I haven't decided. I'll let y'all know something in the next week. However, the next retro review I'll be doing, I'll be doing some February pay-per-views on the channel. So next one we're going to be doing is looking at In Your House 6 Rage in the Cage, which took place in February of 1996. That's the next show we're going to be looking at. That next classic show. After that, I don't know. Leave request. That's one I've wanted to go back and see though, but I'll probably do that as one. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the review. As always, this has been your boy Killer Ken. Peace. I'm out.